The moment that changed his life did not happen in a boardroom or at a gala filled with applause and crystal glasses. It happened on a quiet suburban street he had driven past hundreds of times without ever truly seeing. One careless turn, one delayed meeting, one small voice filled with honesty, and suddenly everything Marcus Whitmore believed about success, poverty, and himself began to collapse in the most unexpected way. If you believe in kindness and second chances, and in the quiet power of compassion that can change lives forever, take a moment right now to like this video, comment, share it with someone you care about, and subscribe to the channel. Stories like this matter only when they are passed from heart to heart. Marcus Whitmore was a self-made millionaire, a man whose name appeared regularly in business magazines and local news articles. He was known for his sharp instincts, relentless drive, and almost frightening level of discipline. Born into a middle-class family in the Midwest, Marcus had sworn early in life that he would never struggle again. He kept that promise to himself. But somewhere along the way, the hunger that fueled his rise turned into a wall that separated him from everyone else. His days were carefully structured. Early mornings, late nights, meetings stacked upon meetings, and a constant awareness that time was money. He lived in a large house in an upscale neighborhood, though he was rarely home long enough to notice it. To Marcus, home was not a place of rest, but a checkpoint between obligations. He paid his taxes, donated occasionally to charities recommended by his advisors, and believed that was enough. On a rainy afternoon, Marcus's driver called in sick, forcing him to drive himself to an important meeting. Distracted by emails and running behind schedule, he took a wrong turn and ended up on a narrow street just a few blocks from his own neighborhood, yet worlds apart in appearance. The houses were older, paint peeling, fences leaning, lawns uneven. It was the kind of street Marcus usually passed without slowing down. Traffic stopped unexpectedly. A city utility truck blocked the road, forcing cars to wait. Marcus sighed, checking his watch, frustration building. He leaned back in his seat, annoyed at the inconvenience, when his eyes caught movement near the sidewalk. A group of children stood near a cracked fence, watching the rain collect in puddles. Among them was a young girl, no older than 9, wearing shoes too worn for the weather and holding a thin sweater around herself. Marcus looked away at first, then back again. Something about the girl's expression made him pause. She was not asking for anything. She was simply watching, curious and calm, as if the world had already taught her patience. When their eyes met, she did not look away. Instead, she stepped closer to the car, raising her hand slightly, not in greeting but in certainty. Without fear or hesitation, she spoke words that would echo in Marcus's mind long after the traffic moved again. She told him that they lived on a street, and she said it not with accusation or shame, but with a quiet truth that struck deeper than anger ever could. In that instant, Marcus felt something shift. Not guilt exactly, but recognition. The realization that people living only steps away from his comfort were surviving in conditions he had never questioned. The truck moved. The road cleared. Marcus could have driven on and forgotten the moment. Instead, he parked a few houses down and sat there, rain tapping against the windshield, replaying the girl's words again and again. They lived on his street, not somewhere far away, not in another city. Right there, hidden in plain sight. That meeting, the one he had rushed so hard to attend, slipped his mind entirely. Marcus got out of the car and walked back toward the houses. The smell of damp wood and old concrete filled the air. He noticed things he had never seen before. Windows patched with cardboard, toys broken but carefully arranged. A community surviving quietly without complaint. Over the following days, Marcus could not shake the feeling. He returned to the street, this time deliberately. He learned that many families there worked multiple jobs and still struggled. Rent had risen. Medical bills had piled up. One emergency after another had pushed them to the edge. The girl he had seen was named Lily, raised by her grandmother after losing her parents. She walked to school every day, past Marcus's neighborhood, and never imagined that the man behind the tinted window lived so close to her hardship. For the first time in years, Marcus felt uncomfortable in his own wealth. His success, once a source of pride, now felt incomplete. He began to ask himself questions he had avoided his entire life. What was the point of building so much if it never touched anyone else? What did it mean to win if others nearby were barely surviving? Change did not come all at once. Marcus did not make headlines or announce grand gestures. He started small. He funded repairs for a few homes, quietly covering costs through a local contractor. He helped reopen a closed community center on the street, turning it into a safe place for children after school. He partnered with local organizations to provide meals and tutoring without attaching his name to the effort. As weeks turned into months, Marcus began spending time there, not as a benefactor, but as a neighbor. He listened more than he spoke. He learned stories filled with resilience, heartbreak, and hope. The street was no longer invisible to him. It became a mirror reflecting everything he had missed while chasing more. The biggest change happened inside Marcus himself. The constant pressure he carried began to ease. His sleep improved. His conversations became slower, more present. For the first time in decades, he felt connected to something real. Lily's words had cracked open a part of him that success never touched. One evening, as the sun dipped low and laughter echoed from the reopened community center, Marcus stood across the street watching children play. He realized that the girl had not just changed his perspective. She had given his life a direction it had been missing all along. If this story moved you, if it reminded you that sometimes the smallest voices carry the greatest truth, please take a moment now to like this video, share it with someone who needs a reminder of compassion, and subscribe to the channel so these stories can continue to reach hearts. Before we end, we have one special request. Comment below and tell us this. Have you ever experienced a moment where someone's simple words completely changed the way you see the world? Because sometimes the most powerful lessons are not spoken from stages or written in books. Sometimes they come from a quiet street, a rainy afternoon, and a child brave enough to tell the truth.